I would like to call to order the August 23rd, 2023 regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees. It is 6:36 p.m. If I could please ask Deacon Mark Otten to come up for the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. As we gather here today in the presence of God, who is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Lord God, we come before you with gratitude for the opportunity to gather as a community. We ask for your presence to guide our discussions and decisions during this village meeting. Grant wisdom and understanding as we address the matters that are important to us. May our words be filled with respect and empathy for one another. May our hearts be open to hearing different perspectives and finding common ground for the betterment of our village. Help us to work together harmoniously, recognizing the strengths and talents of each person gathered here today. Bless our leaders and representatives with discernment and compassion as they lead us through this agenda. Give them the clarity to make decisions that will benefit all and promote the well-being of our village. We ask this through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udress.
Present.
Before I move on to open to the public, can I please have a motion to allow our village attorney to join the meeting remotely due to medical reasons? He's not able to be here.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udress.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes. Thank you. Hi, Mary. Okay, open to the public, agenda items only. Come on up.
Good evening, trustees. My name is Colleen Costello. I live in 6532 West Cedar Court in Gorman Farms. And tonight I am coming before you to ask you to oppose the proposed zoning special use permit for Second Place Church. We attended the zoning board meeting last week, and we voiced our concerns related to this special use permit for the property. Second Place Church gave a passionate and graphic presentation of their dream for the property, but they failed to present an executable plan for which they will execute this project. We believe that granting Second Place Church a special use permit currently without a tangible plan for this property is granting them unfettered access to do what they want. A few years ago, the former economic development representative brought a gentleman forward who purchased a property near the northeast corner of Bruns and Ridgeland with no specific plans, but rather a dream of a truck repair facility. That dream turned into a nightmare. He went out, he cleared all the trees, he started burning the trees, and left. And we had to call the fire department a couple times to make sure that those flames were extinguished and didn't catch the area around on fire. And then he proceeded to put up a temporary plastic canvas-like yurt facility structure. He built a faulty culvert. He looked like he tapped into the electrical in a very odd fashion. And then one day he abandoned the property, and now it's a mud pit. Fortunately, most of you don't have to drive past it on a regular basis, but I just think it was kind of reckless. So we have direct visibility to the property in question, to Second Place Church's request tonight. We find it offensive that we would have to look at an acreage potentially destroyed or partially developed because someone was unable to raise the capital to finish the project or sustain the property. And we're not confident that Second Place Church can be transparent with the village. We're concerned as we have watched the activity at the property over the last couple of years, which no one in the village has been able to answer what's going on. It is begging the question, who's operating this activity, and why is it allowed to run without following the protocol set forth within the village codes? Honestly, at one point, it just made me wonder if somebody was running drugs out of the location. So we dug a little further and found that the property that Second Place Church has just purchased from G&N Management, which is a similar ownership structure to Integral Construction, has been operating the Discovery Forest School. This property, which is currently zoned to state residential, restricts its use from being modified before a special use permit is requested. The Discovery Forest School is one of those organizations or businesses as advertised on the internet, and it is again outside of the Village of Monee's code. Let's be clear, the Second Place Church has been using the property under the guise of they didn't own it when we raised an issue last week at the Zoning Commission when we challenged them about the big loud party that was held in September of last year, in which we had to call both the Will County and the Monee Police Department. They said they didn't own it, so they didn't have anything to do with it. Even though at the time Second Place Church didn't own the property, we believe they had legally should have been considered an agent of the landowner due to their close relationship with G&N Management and Integral Construction, and that's one of the entities that they were running that school under. So I'm kind of curious of why the lack of transparency. In the zoning meeting, there was a dream of the church being built in a later phase, which is presented in the literature to the zoning board, but there were only photos of other sites in hopes to emulate, but there was no answer to the replacement or their placement of a septic field and infrastructure needs. This entire scope of the project, as discussed in the zoning meeting, will cost in the millions to complete, which by their own admission has yet to be raised. With 175 members in the church, raising this type of capital is a heavy lift. What happens if they don't raise the funds and the project lingers? Will it take monies from another project and shift it over to this one? And at what point will the house of cards tumble? Will we have another project like we have at Main and Oak, which has apparently no activity in the past few months? I just would implore the village board to ensure that there is a documented plan and not just a dream that is submitted before the special use permit is granted. Documented plans should be the protocol by which we require those seeking special use permits or zoning variances. If not provided, then we should not grant the request. I hope you take this matter into consideration when you make your decision this evening. Thank you for your time.
Hello, I am Nate Perez. I live at 26049 South Briar Lane. I'm here to ask the board if they can oppose the zoning project going across from my house. I don't know the docket number exactly. We were never informed that this was actually going to occur. We actually just found out about this last Thursday, or else I probably would have been at last week's meeting. When we bought the house 5 years ago, we were extremely happy with having a small home in a very quiet community. To come to find out that there's a chance that a plumbing building can possibly go across from my neighborhood is extremely disheartening. I just recently started a family. I have a 1-year-old at home with actually a second child supposed to be expected in next March. The construction this is going to bring to the neighborhood not only is going to impact our daily lives with balancing child sleep schedules, it as well also puts me at fear with my son beginning to walk very soon. I don't know if you guys know the land, but that is not a very big street. Probably couldn't even fit 2 cars down it without going into the grass. We just, again, this is something my wife would wish she could be here for. I'm speaking on her behalf too. She's currently with our son. When we found this out, we were extremely disheartened. We love our quiet neighborhood. You can see the stars at night. Coming from a small rural area of Illinois out west, kind of actually felt like home, especially moving to the Chicago area. I just hope that you guys can possibly look into a different location in Monee that this could possibly move to. My wife and I, we walk our dogs all around the community, our 2 pit bulls. We've seen plenty of abandoned buildings that could easily be restructured. We've seen the outskirts of town where this could easily go in place. It just does not seem like an ideal place to put a building in a small community directly in front of my house to be the first thing that opens. And again, it might sound selfish, and I do apologize if it does. That makes it no longer feel like home. So I hope you guys take me and my wife and my family into consideration when you guys are looking into this bill. And again, thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Barb Chaya, and I live at 6937 Monee Manhattan Road. I moved to Monee 4 years ago because I wanted to live in the country and a small town community, not surrounded by concrete boxes. And I think what Second Place Church is doing is an absolute breath of fresh air to the community. And I think it's going to make people want to visit and live here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mark Haas. I live at 26046 South Chestnut Road. Again, I'm a neighbor of Nate's. Congratulations, Nate, on your family. I'm here to oppose the zoning for the plumbing business going in on Briar Street. It's a very, very small lot. And I wanted to take a few minutes, to build some strength here. But this neighborhood has been around 150 years. My house is 134 years old. And it seems like a nice spot for a green space, for maybe some type of land swap of some kind. It's not big enough for a home to sit in. It's not big enough for really a garage to sit in. And here's a business being proposed and coming in very, very quickly without proper notification to our neighbors. Only one letter that I know of was ever issued, a certified letter. And there were some got lost, whatever, but I never got one. That's okay, that's past. But more importantly, I'm more excited about the beauty of this little space. A park, a place to go sit and watch the stars. So I'm opposed. Sorry, I don't mean to be upset. I practice this in a mirror, you know. I think I'd have it down by now. But I envision a nice little green space. Could be anything. Could be just a park bench. A great spot to watch the sunset, right at the end of the block. The oldest neighborhood in Monee here, with respect and dignity, that has been paying their taxes for 150 years. Every year, for 150 orbits of the sun, you can tell I'm an astronomer. The dignity and respect that this neighborhood deserves to have a nice little cute space there. And it could be a variety of things. It could be a simple bench, a couple rocks, just even grass. But for a business to be put in there, right next to some of the oldest homes in town, it's just, it just seems like not a fit. So I'm opposed for the zoning. I know it's zoned commercial, and it's been zoned business and commercial for decades, but it's been a neighborhood for 150 years, some of the oldest homes. So to have a nice quiet little space at the end of the block, we can pretty it up at Christmas time. We can do a variety of things. We can even have a committee. I do ask the board to table this for a few weeks so we can take a better look at it. There is opportunities for the business to go in a variety of ways. It's $8,000 worth of land. Most people have that in their checking account. Most. No, not really. But anyhow, thank you for your time and consideration.
Hello, my name is Janae Dessenberg. I live at 26710 South Foxwood Drive in Monee. I'm a resident of Monee, and I've lived here for about 8 years. And I think what Second Place Church is attempting to do is fantastic. It's a great idea of what they have to do with the land to make it a better place for people who live in Monee currently, people who wish to live in Monee, and for the future of Monee itself to allow to have such a structure and use of that facility to be for people who live here, even if they don't go to that church, that they could use that property. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope you support it too.
Anybody else? Oh.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Jared Dennis. I live at 26906 South Sylvan Lane. I just moved here maybe a little bit under a year ago. And I came to bring support for the motion that for Second Place's use of the property. My daughter attends Natural Discovery. She's a toddler. She's about 2.5 years old right now, and I have another baby on the way right now that's due in around the end of the year. And I bring this up because I have firsthand experience of what they're doing there right now. I see that my daughter is learning. She loves the outdoors now from being there. She never wants to leave. She's in her happiest moments there. And from my experience there, I found that this is a place where I want to be building my family. I want to stay in Monee for a long time, and I want to raise my kids there. So I just wanted to bring up support for this as sorry, I'm shaking because I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not used to this. But I just want to bring my support for it because I think that what they're doing is really great, and I think they have a great vision, and it's something that I'm buying into and I want my family to be a part of. And I think that I'm not the only one in the community that feels that way. Thank you.
Sorry, I have a quick question before I begin. I am a resident of Beecher. Am I allowed to speak for the open to the public? Awesome. Okay. Yes, it is. So, full disclosure, I am a resident of Beecher. My name is Stephen Naperkowski, and I'm affiliated with Second Place Church. I'm a trustee there, but I just wanted to come up and just address the zoning request today. I get that there's some concern of the unknown and some projects that have happened, I'm sure, across this country, across the world, that, there's big dreams that are dreamed all over the place, and there's times that those dreams don't always get fulfilled. But as part of Second Place, I know that we have put in place a lot of different dreams and a lot of different plans, and we don't abandon them. I mean, there's things that come across that may delay things every now and then, but that's just with everything. I mean, America was built on dreams that have been delayed and brought to fruition later on. So just to address some of the things that may have been a concern for some people in the community, Second Place's vision is not to destroy that land. Second Place's vision is to work within that land, within the acreage, within the trees, within the forest. And I think everything that we bring to that will only enhance the land and continue to keep it something that will be there for generations to come, and for a community to be able to come together and enjoy Monee, the land, and each other. And I think it's only going to enhance this community and not take away from any visual appeal in that area. And I just want to ask that you consider that in the vote tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Greatly appreciated.
Mayor, can I ask Ms. Costello a question?
I think so, yeah.
Ms. Costello, I received your email as well earlier. To my understanding, it's not that you have a problem with Second Place Church doing something, but you want plans of it being completed. Is that my understanding?
That's correct. That's correct. I don't fully oppose, but I just want to make sure that the plan that gets presented is an executable plan and not just a series of pictures from the internet of other projects that have happened around the country. That what is their true plans, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, are they confident that they have the wherewithal to meet those objectives and the costs that are, part of that? One of the gentlemen that sits on the zoning board last week asked the question about the septic field. And that's, important when you're starting to look at the size of a structure. Does the plan accommodate for it? Where is it going to sit? How many trees are going to be destroyed? Because the vision that they laid out last week was about this dreamy forest that was going to be great for everyone to come and enjoy, and there's going to be athletic fields, and we've just spent a tremendous amount of money in the village to put a new park in. There's been approval to put one over in Gorman Farms. So there is infrastructure. We have the reservoir. So there are a number of infrastructure places around. For those people who really want to be outside, they're going to find places to go. And I'm not discounting what they're trying to do. It's just I'm a bit concerned that, you know, with 175 members, like how do you put a multi-million-dollar project and plan in place without knowing what the design is going to be, what the phases are going to be, you know, how do you make all of that happen? So I understand the dream, and I understand we all dreams. I mean, since I've moved in 6 years ago, there's things I want to do to my house and other priorities get in the way. I'm not discounting that. It's just, I think it would be premature for the trustees to grant permission on this special use. One, because they've been doing things on that property without the special use to this point. So it's been a blatant disregard of our rules. And second, I don't see a firm plan put in place that's executable. And that shows us that they've planned how it's going to impact the area. Is that helpful?
That does it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Okay. Again, thank you to everybody. Moving on to the consent agenda, may I please have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
I have a question actually before we get to roll call with that, because we do have the favorable letters from P&Z that relate to these two issues. Accepting the letter, I just want to make sure I'm clear, accepting the letter, the favorable letters is just simply that, accepting the letters, and whether we move forward or not is taken care of later in the agenda, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try that again, Larry.
No, that's correct. All we're doing is acknowledging receipt of the letter. It doesn't bind the board with respect to the action to be taken.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you. Clerk's report?
No report.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to my report. First, under my report, if I can please ask Ryan Boren. Does he? Aww. Okay, we are pleased to introduce Officer Ryan Boren, who is being appointed to detective this evening. Ryan is a veteran officer who has been with MPD for a little over 2 years. He previously served as an investigator for the Stager Police Department and for the Department of Children and Family Services. He has already utilized his previous experience by assisting Sergeant DiPaolo on several open cases and by aggressively initiating multiple criminal arrests and investigative follow-up while working afternoon shift patrol. We have great expectations for Ryan in his new position. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next, under my report, discussion for approval for the Police Pension Board. Unfortunately, I did receive a letter of recognition from Christopher Fairchild. His work duties have, they conflict with him being on the police board at this point in time. So I would like to please have a motion that we appoint Steve Schabacker to the Police Pension Board.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
How about just a comment? I've known Steve for as long as he's had a business here. He's an entrepreneur. He is a very good member of the community. People well known, stand-up individual. When he puts his mind to something, he hones in on it and he does it. He does his due diligence. He does his background and everything on anything that I've ever known him to do. And I think this is a very, very good nomination.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Regis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Next is a proclamation that I would like to read for National Rail Safety Week. Whereas Rail Safety Week is to be held across the U.S. from September 18th to 24th, 2023. Whereas 2,194 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 803 personal injuries and were responsible for 274 fatalities in the United States during 2022. And whereas 1,208 pedestrian trespassing casualties have occurred in the United States, resulting in 658 pedestrians being killed and another 550 injured while trespassing on railroad property rights-of-way during 2022. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways and obeying established traffic laws, will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. And whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver, United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in an effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railroad safety to enforce applicable laws in support of National Rail Safety Week. Therefore, I, Therese Bogues, Mayor, do hereby attest my full support in proclaiming September 18th to 24th, 2023, National Rail Safety Week, and I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. And lastly, on my report, regarding the dangerous heat today/tomorrow, Monee EMA has an incident action plan in place for this week's heat emergency. All residents should have a plan. Expect power outages, check on family, friends, and neighbors, call 911 for emergencies. EMA will open Village Hall as a cooling center and also Parks and Rec if needed. So please call Monee Village Hall between 9 and 5 if you need assistance at 708-534-8301. So we are going to, since there's no administrator's report, we're going to write to the officials' reports. So Trustee Horn, starting with you with Public Works, please.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's staying cool. Here's our activities for the Department of Public Works. You may have noticed that there's new striping, signage, and rumble strips along the intersection of Court Street and Eastgate Avenue, and I have noticed personally that it does cause people to tap on the brakes and slow down. Another good news, restoration from the Court Street area water main project was completed this week, so you'll notice the restoration is in place, and any residents who want to water in front of their homes are encouraged to do so where they have the restoration. The next scheduled branch pickup will be on Tuesday, September 5th. It's usually on a Monday, but that Monday is a holiday. End of report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things for Park and Rec. The first day of school is tomorrow for Monee Elementary, so please watch for school buses and children walking to school. I know it's been a couple months since we've had school buses and school traffic around and up and down Will Center, so please make sure you watch your speed. Watch your speed in a school zone. Do not pass on a school zone, and be careful of those kids out there. Fall Fest is only 2 weeks away, September 8th through 10th. There's 7 bands of live music in the beer tent all 3 days. There's, of course, the carnival and a fireworks show. This year we have 14 food vendors. We've got community garage sales going on for Friday and Saturday. There's arts and crafts available, of course, in our parade and our special needs day on our senior tent is back, the car and bike show, and Monee of Lions of Church's pancake breakfast and service on Sunday morning, non-perishable food drive on Sunday, and much, much more. And I think as of today, Monee, the mega passes are on sale now for the carnival through Thursday, September 7th, noon at Village Hall. And Diana, $65? Yes. Okay. And we do need volunteers. So we usually get volunteers for 2 to 3 hour shifts. There's several jobs available. If you can and are free for a few hours during the weekend, we'd sure use some help. And the Monee Chamber of Commerce is hosting, of course, their 36th annual golf outing on Wednesday, September 20th. And you can call Lee to sponsor a hole to purchase tickets at 708-421-1786. And I wanted to read the other thing. The Knights of Columbus is having its Intellectual Disabilities Fund. Our Tootsie Roll Drive is Friday, September 15th and Saturday, September 16th. So, and I'm just going to read a letter from them. So we have a letter asking for, or, soliciting corner from Knights of Columbus. Once again, the Knights of Columbus request your permission to distribute Tootsie Rolls in the village to raise money for the intellectually disabled. This year's drive is scheduled for Friday, September 15th through Sunday, September 17th. Last year, we raised a little over $5,000 for local charities, supporting adults and youth with intellectual disabilities. These charities include St. Coletta's of Illinois in Tinley Park, Good Shepherd Manor in Momence, Illinois Special Olympics Area 6, Park Lawn and Oak Lawn, and down in the Southland in Tinley Park. So I'm hoping that everybody gets their Tootsie Rolls in the next September 15th through 17th. End of report.
Thank you. Finance, Trustee Regis.
Thank you, Mayor. We would like to remind everyone that August 1st, applications for the Property Tax Relief Program became available. Excuse me. The applications are available on the village's website. Also, 1,565 applications have been mailed to Monee residents and should arrive later this week. End of report.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to announce that one new business license has been issued since the last meeting. Long awaited, Lauren Bookmeyer from Crow's Head Cooperage is going to be running his business, the Crow and Calico Tavern LLC. So congratulations, Lauren. Well deserved. Things are moving forward with the Trailer Supply Company and look forward to construction next spring. As always, shop Monee when available. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. One permit for residential new construction issued for Eagle Fair subdivision, and 2 additional permits are in planned review. Permit was issued to the TA Petro for their new truck repair facility at 5914 Monee Manhattan Road, and they are scheduled to break ground sometime this week. Now, that is it for the regular report. A little inside baseball. I talk with the director, and we get a little report going. and that's what I read each week. This week was a little bit different. I had a small business owner, and talked to me about a individual at Building Services code officer, and let me know how much they appreciated his professionalism, his knowledge, and his overall help. And just as I was done talking with that person, another lady who happened to be listening also concurred and said that this individual, the business owner called him Jim Pizza, but it's Jim Pace. And I was happy that we didn't have to have a discussion about ordinances and about the officers and everything, and it was a pleasant, or I didn't have to defend anyone or explain anything. And I didn't think much of it. I let it pass by. And then yesterday I was handed a letter. So this is why I'm bringing it up, is because this is 3 in less than a week that someone has come up to me and talked to me about this man. I am writing to compliment an employee named Jim. He works for the village of Monee as a code officer. I had an interaction with him, and to say the least, I was very cranky when he and I met. He was not rattled and was more than patient with me. I have not yet met another employee for the village that has treated me with more respect than Jim. I know his job is not easy, especially when he has to remind residents to keep up with the codes. Jim conducted himself with kindness and attentiveness. He gave my family respect and care. I just wanted the village to know what a great employee he is and a wonderful asset to our community. Please make sure to share this so everyone in town knows what a great worker Jim is. And not too long ago, he got 2 crew awards on the same night, and this right here is what does it. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udras.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start my report, just to add on to what you were saying with the heat emergencies, I also want to remind people that have pets to please limit the pet time outdoors. Please make sure, just like us, that they stay hydrated and they have plenty of fresh water. Walking them outside, remember that the concrete and blacktop can get just as hot as the temperature outside, so we don't want to burn their feet. So just please pay extra time, some extra time and extra attention to your pets. Moving on to our emergency management agency, all departments have had several meetings together and getting ready to have a great and safe Fall Fest coming up. So be rest assured that they're ready for you. Also today, EMA representatives from the National Weather Service, Illinois EMA, Will County EMA, Kendall County EMA were at our Monee EMA today to review for our storm ready application. This has been years in the preparation, and I'm proud to announce that the village of Monee is storm ready. Before, during, and after the storm, summer or winter, we will have a formal presentation for this at our October board meeting, but Monee becomes the 93rd community in the state of Illinois to achieve storm ready status. So congratulations to EMA, a lot of hard work there. The last thing I have from EMA that I wanted to also share is that the fire department graciously gifted 2 of its surplus portable radios to EMA. These radios will allow our EMA, police, and fire to have direct communication with each other without having to go through any kind of central dispatch. This becomes especially helpful and important whenever we have any kind of large-scale incidents in town. So I also want to put a thank you out to the fire district for doing this. So thank you. For the police department, Monee Police is once again in the final stages of hiring a new officer. He's completing the medical testing process and preparing for starting the academy on September 5th. This will, after nearly 3 years of recruiting and testing, put us full staffed. So that is incredible. And also, we would like to thank all of the Monee businesses that contributed as sponsors for the August 4th Monee Police Golf Outing that was held at Green Garden. All those proceeds will go to Special Olympics. We raised over $3,000 this year, so congratulations. Good cause. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have, I believe, 4 items for the board's consideration. The first item is an ordinance for the issuance of a variance for Joshua Coakley. I believe he went before the planning board last week, and the board approved his request. He's looking to install a fence around his residence, and I don't think there are any objections at the zoning hearing. So it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Any discussion, board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Ordinance number 2039.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item that I have, and if I'm out of order, please forgive me, I don't have the agenda, I forgot it, but I believe it's an ordinance approving the issuance of variance for Rockland Oiler within the village. Again, this gentleman went before the zoning board, I believe, last Wednesday. I believe he received a favorable recommendation. It is up tonight for the board's review and consideration.
I would like to motion to postpone till next meeting. There's a lot of moving parts on this, and I would like to do our due diligence prior to making any quick decisions.
Table or postpone?
Table it, yeah. Motion to table.
Okay to postpone
And it should be tabled. I mean, tabling, you said a specific date. Postpone, it means indefinitely.
Okay, table. I make a motion to table it until next meeting.
I will second that.
I'd just like to comment too, sorry. Just like to comment too that I'm frankly kind of glad that we are going to table this too. Yes, John said we have a lot of moving parts, and I know they went in front of P&Z and received a favorable recommendation, but clearly here, there's other residents who really want to make sure we're doing the right thing for the neighborhood, and I would like to see that through as well.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is a good business. I think it's a good business for Monee. I just would like to have some time to make sure it's the right spot for that business.
I concur. It's a good business for Monee, but I don't know about the spot. I don't know about the ordinance changes. Quite a few things that we might need to go over and speak with. I am all for businesses coming to Monee. Just we'll find out if it's a good fit or anything.
I just had a comment. I don't see on any documents a actual address. Is there an address assigned to this?
It says 0, not 0, Briar Lane, 2B. It says TBD.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item that I have is the special use permit request submitted by Second Place Church. Again, I believe this is heard before the zoning board last week. The zoning board issued a favorable recommendation. It is up tonight for consideration before the board.
I would make a motion to table this also to a later date. There seems to be some controversy on whether there's a executable plan. I'd like to see some more solid planning and some more solid information on this, and not just go ahead and I wouldn't want to make the rash decision on this, especially with a lot of it being a member of the community and everything. I'd very much like to see something like this come to fruition. But I think we need to table it and look into it a little bit further.
I agree with that. As Ms. Costello said, she wasn't opposed to it. And I know some other residents had some things to say. So to table this, I would agree.
So the motion second?
Second.
Any further discussion before roll call?
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And Ruben, I'll need help on this. Is the Lauren Buckmeyer TIF request on the agenda?
Correct, yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Well, the last item then would be approval to issue a TIF payment to Lauren Buckmeyer for the expenses he incurred with respect to his project. Cooper, so it is up for the night, and I believe all the expenses have been verified. It's up tonight for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Third.
Any discussion, any questions for Mr. Buckmeyer?
Just to make sure that for clarification, you said all expenses were looked at and do fit and were approved?
That is correct.
Okay.
Verified, yeah.
Okay.
Myself and Director Bullinger reviewed all the cost receipts.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
And another
Okay,
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Buckmeyer, do you have an update? Do you want to, is there something you would like to share with the board this evening?
Yes, absolutely. I will do my best to keep it brief. So we've made a lot of progress in the last couple of years, specifically the last 6 months. We were anticipating opening Memorial Day weekend. Now we're hopeful Labor Day weekend. Everything was submitted to the state today. They said anywhere from 1 to 10 business days. If all planets align and cylinders all fire in sequence, we may be opening as early as the 1st. That said, I'm anticipating obstacles such as our solid wood entry doors for our bar. I was just told today that the 3rd set is supposed to ship on the 28th. So I might have to make some temporary commercial doors. They sent me the wrong doors twice now from Texas. So, there's always excitement, but we just forge ahead. We're pushing forward. We got a lot of landscaping done. We've got the majority of the construction is done. And I have some slides here that were actually put together by Ms. Beckman. Thank you very much, Rachel, if you watch this. That shows some of the before and afters of some of the work we've been up to. Okay. Okay. So our motto is a better barrel crafts a superior spirit. Barrel's responsible for 65 to 85% of a spirit's flavor, and at Crozet Cooperage, we make fine quality spirits. We're also excited to say that I just received a copy of the label from Silver Tree Distilling in Paxton. They just were approved from the TTB, and they'll be releasing some 24-month bourbon from our barrels. It's the first all-Illinois whiskey made since Prohibition, and they were gracious enough to actually put right on the label that it was, made with sustainably sourced white oak from Illinois and crafted at Crow's Head Cooperage. So, as far as I know, we're the only cooperage that's ever been put on a whiskey label. So that's a good thing. That should be coming out in the next couple of months. Hopefully, we'll have it in stock at the Crow and Calico. Here is the area we cleared for the beer garden. Oh. And I don't know how to turn that up. So here you see it before when we first started scraping the ground, and the final product with the beer garden complete. Here we have a nature path that we started. We haven't yet completed it. We have about 500 feet finished. At this point, we're anticipating spring, opening up the nature trail. We'll be annotating all the native species, a lot of which we'll be utilizing in our cocktails. We have Illinois choke cherries, we have raspberries, wild plums, you name it. We have an array of really amazing indigenous trees, fauna, or flora. We also have a lot of fauna too. Herd of deer come through there. We've been finding all their hoof prints in the trails. I saw a yearling walking through the woods right into our yard a couple of days ago. Black mink, black squirrel, you name it. There's a million animals out there, so it'll be kind of a fun place to sit and take in nature. That said, we've removed a significant amount of invasive Chinese honeysuckle, which will allow the native plants to thrive. We're also, this fall, we'll go back to trying to eradicate more of the invasive Phragmites grass, which is growing around Monee's retention pond, and it's choking out all of the native cattails. So last fall, my son and I were out there pulling out all the stalks of the Phragmites and pulling all the seeds from the cattails and spreading them out around the ponds, and it had a significant impact this year, so we hope to improve on that this year. This was the barn when I moved from Beecher, before and after. We tore off all the siding, did a lot of significant work with the barn entry doors. Now we'll have new solid wood doors for the bar, which is on the north side, the right as you're looking at those photos. We'll have solid wood doors with windows for the bar. This is the work in progress inside the bar. It's a very small bar, 240 square feet. It's the smallest whiskey bar in Illinois, quite possibly America. But with the beer garden, and we've got seating areas set up all throughout the wood line, so we can seat 84 in the beer garden. We have a patio adjacent to the beer garden. I thought I had slides of the patio too. Sorry.
I'll show you the progress. Go back another. Click on this. There you go.
Oh! Oh gosh, okay. So yeah, you can see we're tearing the siding off, we're building the doors. So now, so I'm gonna go back really fast here. Okay. Well, regardless, we have plenty of seating and everything to accommodate people in the beer garden, in the patio, along the wood line if people want to hang out in a private little group away from the crowd. So Anna Beneval will be out with Around Town from WGN on the morning of the 22nd. So she'll be broadcasting live. So that will also be our inaugural Oktoberfest weekend. So.
Nice.
Yes. So, yeah.
Nice.
We're up. I believe so, yes. We will be bringing back the Weihnachtsmarkt. Now that we have an established structure, the 2 of the 3 tents that I lost to that little microburst tornado 2 Decembers ago, those sides will work quite well to close off the beer garden, and a little bit of propane heat and some glue vine will keep people toasty. So, anybody have any questions?
Just want to say congratulations to you, bud. I know that this has been coming a long time, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Likewise, there's been a lot of setbacks, a lot of changes, a lot of stuff that had to go through with this, and you've seen it through to the end, and congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Excellent job, Lauren. Way to hang in there, too.
Thank you.
I've never seen somebody with so much desire and dedication and determination. As literally, every time you turned a corner, there was a snafu or something, up until probably the day you opened, but you always managed to go above and beyond, so that's awesome. It speaks volumes about you, and looking forward
thank
to.
you. There were many days I was going to tell my boss to shove it, but, in too deep to quit.
Thank you, Lauren. Looking really good. Thank you very much. Appreciate the update. Okay, under unfinished business, discussion/approval of an ordinance regarding regulating murals within the village. So the board action request this evening, over the course of the last year, as we strive to beautify the village, we have discussed the possibility of murals within the village. At the July 19th, 2023 Planning and Zoning meeting, Economic Development Director Bill Barnes gave an overview of the mural program. P&Z voted to send a favorable recommendation to the board for a mural ordinance to be drafted. The village attorney drafted the ordinance, and the board action request this evening is for approval of the mural ordinance.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah. The subject of the murals and everything, well, they will be brought up to the board and okayed also? I mean, we do have a, okay.
Yeah, it's got to go in front of P&Z.
All right. So the subject, or whenever we would switch them out or anything, that would do. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Just quick point of order, don't we need to vote on the TIF payout for Lauren, for the Cooperage? I think we had a motion and a second.
Yeah.
You need your money?
Right?
Just
unless you want to donate it back to the village.
Just another setback for him.
No, we already did that.
We already did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all. All right,
We did.
all right. Back to the mural. Okay, we've got a first and second.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion on the mural?
And I just want to, this is one thing that we've been working on for several months to get this done and everything. And I think, going through point by point and where it can be in respect to the village and what will be on it, I think is wonderful, and it very specifically outlines what is allowed and what isn't allowed and how it's going to be affixed to a building. So I'm glad that this is done.
Awesome. Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Utras.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Do you have a number for me? Oh, that's not-
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
2040.
Thank you. All right, any new business? Open to the public, non-agenda items?
Good evening, trustees. How are you? Joe DeCenzo, Second Place Church. I get confused a lot, so I'm a little confused. John, I understand the tabling of the request because you need to see plans. We were told last week's meeting at P&Z we could do the same presentation this week, and so that opportunity wasn't afforded us. So unfortunately, I have the plan and to show you everything that we were planning on doing, but unfortunately, y'all don't get that tonight. I do want to say, though, I think the attorney did say that by tabling it, that there would need to be a date set. When does that date get set so we can know how to plan for ourselves?
Next agenda, next meeting. Right?
The next meeting will be when we'll be able, and then will we be able to present our plan at that time? Okay, sorry if I missed it, if we were supposed to magically walk up here and float to the front, but we want to be respectful to you guys and make sure that we follow the rules of Robert's Rules of Order. So the last thing I'll say with my 30 seconds, you know, second place started with 4 people in Cincinnati. And the 4 of us, Sarah and I drove out, and the 4 of us sat and we said, what if we start a church? I told her brother that he was crazy, first of all, for starting a church. And then he said he wanted to do it where we had been living in Monee. We've lived in Monee for 21 years. We've raised all 4 of our kids here. And so what ends up happening is in 2009, we end up coming before a board similar to you to pitch an imaginative plan to launch a church in Monee because we felt called here. But we wanted to do it in a warehouse. Why? Because there's no meeting space in Monee. You can't find it. During COVID, what do? We left our warehouse building that was costing us over $10,000 a month. Hello. And we looked and we looked and we looked at properties like in this area. Nothing. You know where we ended up? Frankfurt, because there was space. And we met there for a year. Somehow, some way, we ended up back here in Monee because we're determined to bring life to this community. And for whatever reason, when we came to the board in 2009, there was resistance. Why should you have a church in a warehouse? Are you kidding me? That's what that's for. What about the trucks? 2016, we started Provision Lab. During COVID, we lost our ability to have it out of the warehouse, the food pantry. Now we reside in a little temporary little place on Governor's Highway. It's 400 square feet. The things that Kelly does out of that space is insane. Now the church resides in a temporary borrowed building. It's not ours. I get an email or a phone call or a text any second now that says, you're done. You need to move. Guess what? Nowhere to go. So, you know, we were part of helping start the MAC, the Monee Alliance of Churches, 10 years ago. That kind of thing just doesn't happen in the community. I've said that over and over when I've done the invocation. We started Love Monee. I don't know, what, 7 or 8 years that we've been doing it. Here's what you all got to understand. Sometimes you make it really hard to love you. And I'm talking about Monee. You make it really hard. Because I've got a letter here, and I'll send it to you, from Amy Williams. She's a neighbor to Ms. Costello. Full support of the project. We got one person that's come up here and stated that they had concerns. 4 people to 175. It's like an incredible proportions, right? I don't know, 4,000% growth. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that a couple of people with an innovative idea could come to this town and bring life? The 2009 board took a risk, and we've been bringing life ever since. 2016, we did it again with Provision Lab, and now we're hunkered down in a temporary space on Governor's Highway, feeding 100 people every 2 weeks out of 400 square feet. This property, you'll get to hear the plan. Don't you worry. I'm going to hold it back tonight. You'll get to hear the plan. But here's the deal. That property is an opportunity for us to finally have roots in Monee. It's been a 14 to 15-year journey, and we're still here. Some of your faces have changed over the years. All my kids have been raised in this town. But guess what? We've had to go out of the town to get a lot of stuff. We got to go outside this town to find places to bring our kids. If you could only see the presentation that we were going to present tonight, you could see what we're talking about. And so hopefully, next time, in the next meeting, we can just honestly bring it to you. And you know what? Scripture says we see through a mirror dimly right now. And so guess what? I'm no financial person, but financial forecasts, we all know about those. I don't know if anybody want to just throw down the last 5-10 years financial forecasts, how many people were wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, the record shows that our track record is that we're up and to the right. And we're going to continue to bring life. And if you make it hard to love on you, I'm not saying you personally, I'm saying Monee, sometimes you're hard to love. But we're going to continue to be here for you guys as long as you'll have us. And so, I mean, I stand before you. You want to look under every leaf on the land, you want to see what's going on up there, I invite you out there. You want to see any underhanded things that we're doing behind your back? Come on, come with it. We've got everything to show you that is simply out there. These kids are learning, these kids are having a great time, and it's all under the permission of the owner of the land. Illegal stuff. Come on. One person. I think about all this, and it does. We have the conversations of why are we here? Why are we doing this? Beating our head over the, just trying to say, this is what we're trying to do. And so, you know what? I burned my 3 minutes plus, but I'm really not sorry, because I feel like you guys got to know that we believe in this town. And I always say this, nobody ends up in Monee by accident. You got to come here for a reason. And they're coming here for gas, they're coming here for a truck stop, they're coming here to get what they need, the warehouse stuff, logistics, and get it out of here. That's all cool. Take a look, so you know where I'm going, take a look at the vision of Monee. Take a look at the mission statement of Monee, because that's what's coming. And we'll show you that the plan is in full support of what you guys have already said you want this town to be known for. And so with that, I'll be praying for y'all, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, trustees. I am Joshua Coakley. I appreciate you guys vote on behalf of my children and their safety. I just had a question. What is the next process, and who do I talk to after? I guess it's Michelle. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ken Vasika at 5824 West Roosevelt Street. It seems every year we call the village about the retention pond on Roosevelt. And we've got mud and we've got grass and we've got a blight. It looks terrible. We put up flowers every day. You know, we take care of our properties and everything else. Our family comes to see us. The first thing they see is a fence and a retention pond and grass growing in it. These, you know, they're they're concrete runners that lead to a pipe that takes it out. But it's loaded with grass, and it just doesn't look right. I called the village, and that person at the phone sent me to the person who would be able to take care of me. That gentleman said he was out of the office, and it flipped me to his secretary. The secretary said she wasn't there, and I left a detailed message, and they never got back to me. So I called again, and the voicemail was full. And I said, you know, every year my neighbor Kim has called about the same problem every single year. It's just a bad habit right now. A good habit doesn't take a lot of problems. All you do is clean it out once, it's easy to maintain. But this is like it never gets taken care of. I appreciate wherever this is supposed to go to, I'd like somebody to be able to hear me and be able to take care of this, and not only just take care of it, but maintain it. Okay? Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Margaret Horn. I'm part of the Historical Society, and I just want to say a big thank you. On August 5th and 6th, we had planned a Civil War reenactment, and it kind of came up on us rather quickly once we got it confirmed with the actors. and they canceled it. But in the meantime, I spoke to Scott. I spoke to Diana. I don't think I spoke to Diana, but it was communicated to her. And we spoke to Public Works. Those guys all worked together so well to make what didn't happen work well, even though it didn't happen. So I just want to say a big thank you. I mean, I heard later people were still cutting wood for the wood they needed and it had been canceled. But thank you, everyone, especially Scott. Man, I didn't realize you had to go to EMA and all that other stuff. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. So you guys are great. I just wanted to come up and say thank you. You know, they can't do it this year, so we're hoping next year. So we'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Next on the agenda is executive session. So that will be for 5 ILCS 120/2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. That parcel number is 2114211280030000. So if I can please have a motion to adjourn to go into executive
Make
session.
the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please. Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
All right, can I please have a motion to reopen regular session?
I'll make that motion.
Roll call, please. Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
8:30. Thank you. Action to be taken after executive session. A consensus was reached to have Bill discuss with the owner of the proposed plumbing business a relocation of his said business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.